Action Film Autopsy.
Oh, geez, I just want to watch that. I want that as my ringtone. I want that. I want that. If you ring my doorbell, I want that to play in the window of my door. I mean, that's a great little piece. And also that opening segment. I mean, just reminds me of how great Michelle Yeoh is doing right now,
Oh, I know.
and Cynthia Rothrock for that matter,
Yes,
with her
yes,
Kickstarter and everything. So
yeah. Two legends right there. What's going on, everybody watching right now? Welcome to another episode of Action Film Autopsy. It's your boy, Phat Samurai Guy, and Kung Fu Santa himself, Rick Myers. Welcome back, Rick.
Hey, good to be back.
Yeah, it's been forever since you've been here on the channel.
Oh,
5 years? 5 years?
It's been what? 3 days.
3 days. Yeah, but it's always great having you here, brother. What's the shirt there? What do you got there?
It is the Disney tour.
Ah, okay.
This is one of my rare Disney park shirts. I have them from all over the world. I've been to 5 of the 6 Disney parks, and also throughout my life. So I'm able to get stuff that's extremely rare and that's decades old. I have one of the very few Euro Disney sweatshirts.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Which before they changed the name to Disneyland Paris.
Interesting.
I was thinking of wearing that tonight. It's a beautiful shirt. Maybe next time.
Yeah, next time.
We're doing 3 Disney things tonight.
Yeah, representing.
And I also love the shirt because, of course, it's based on the Da Vinci Divine Man.
Right.
Yeah. So.
Awesome. Yep. Who we got in the house? Shout out time. We got Severio here. Brian Sanchez, Jake Hall, Adam Evans. What's going on? Michael Gonzalez. Oh, and Bob Odin's son. That's right.
Oh, thanks for coming, guys.
Yes, thank you, guys. And we have a plethora of things to talk about tonight. That's right. And as is tradition on Action Film Autopsy, Rick always beats Phat Samurai Guy to the punch.
But it's always the open hand.
The open hand. He beats me to
the hand.
Yeah, he beats me to the open hand.
Slap you beside the head.
Yes, there you go. Yes. What's up? What's going on, Danielle? Good to see everybody here. But yeah, Rick will have more to say than me today. I have some questions though, Rick. Maybe you can help me out here when we get to these projects here.
Sure.
But let's go ahead and kick it off with the big one. Now, I remember when this was announced way back. I did the trailer reaction to it. It seemed like this was the third in the entry. It seemed like they were trying to make this almost like Avengers scale type movie. That's what kind of vibe I got from the trailer for Ant-Man.
It's very interesting. The trailer was very deceptive.
Okay.
When I first saw the trailer, I didn't get that vibe.
Okay.
I got the vibe that it was going to be tragic. That one of our beloved heroes was going to die, and horribly. I mean, the way that thing is set up, it kind of looks like Ant-Man is going to sacrifice himself.
Gotcha.
And so I was worried. And also, I had seen what had come before, Doctor Strange and Eternals, and I was just, I'm getting so tired of anything goes.
Right.
My usual phrase, when anything is possible, nothing is interesting.
Right.
And so I came to Quantumania, biting my nails, like a Bugs Bunny character, and little nails going flying everywhere.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, and I've been having discussions online with my friends from all around the world, and I keep on telling them, guys, don't prejudge a movie. Don't try to guess what the movie's going to be. Go see the movie and enjoy it. So one of my friends who I've said that to the most came back to me and said, you should, practice what you preach.
Okay.
Sifu Santa. And I went, you're absolutely right.
Right.
So it did teach me that having lower expectations or being worried about a company who I've treasured for a decade and more is not the way to go, because the fact that I was worried about this made me enjoy it more. So if any of you have not seen Quantumania yet, come with concerns, come with worries.
Really low expectations.
Yeah, and that way you can just relax and go, oh, okay, it's not that bad. Virtually all my uh, objective friends,
Right.
not the Rotten Tomato haters, they come at this, and virtually we all agree it's a B movie. We give it a B.
Okay. Okay.
It's not an A, but
Okay.
it's also not a C.
Okay.
And there's enough in it. I mean, everyone I've discussed it gave it a B for a different major reason. My major reason is that Ant-Man anchors them. I mean, everybody agrees there's flaws in the movie. It's weak in certain areas, but again, everybody disagrees what that area is.
Right.
Okay, well, there we go, Michael. Kang and Janet were great. Everything else was bad. I don't agree with that, and my other friends don't agree with that either. There were things that everybody liked, and there were other things that people didn't like.
Right.
But what I found amusing and a sign of how B this movie is, which means good, not great, is that everyone disagreed on that I had talked to. Everyone disagreed on what was best and what was worst. What I liked was that Ant-Man anchored it in
Okay.
recognizable human reality. Like I said, I'm getting tired of all this thousands of stuff and anything goes, but his character, Paul Rudd, I'm going to just say Paul Rudd, because, Ant-Man is not a superhero. He's a guy in a suit. He's not
Right.
he's not as smart as Tony Stark.
Right.
He's a guy in a suit, and the suit does everything. But here I've watched him get smarter and cleverer through each show.
Okay.
And here again, like Fast and Furious series, it's all about family. Each member of the family comes to rescue another member of the family.
Family. Yeah.
Now let's talk about the action.
Okay.
The stunt coordinator and the first of all, it's a guy from Rick and Morty who's the main screenwriter, and you can
Okay.
tell this is a Rick and Morty episode, except with not Rick and Morty, with
Right.
Ant-Man and the Wasp and the other members rather than Rick and Morty. But yeah, it's the same environment, and so much going on.
Mhm.
It's also great to see on a big screen because there's so much going on all the time. But the fight coordinator of this movie was Mark Stanton Kelly, who he's pretty much new to fight coordination. But the stunt coordinator is the great Gary Powell. Gary Powell is one of the legends of stunt coordination. And it's funny, last night, and I put it up on Facebook, I stumbled onto HBO. It was my last night of getting my free year of HBO.
Right. Right. Right.
Last night, they showed a double feature of Martin Campbell's James Bond movies.
Classics.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, the best of them. GoldenEye,
Yeah.
the first Pierce Brosnan and the best Pierce Brosnan, and Casino Royale, the first Daniel Craig and the best Daniel Craig. And I said, okay, I'll just watch the beginning of GoldenEye. I was there for the next 5 hours.
Nice.
And Gary Powell did the stunt coordination on Casino Royale. And I still think that's not only one of the best action films of all times, it's the best. I think I've decided it's the best James Bond movie. It's not the original, it's not Dr.
Mhm.
Who, it's not From Russia with Love, it's not
Right.
Goldfinger,
Right.
but it is so much more advanced. And it's ironic, of course, that Casino Royale was the first James Bond story that was published. So this Casino Royale movie was astonishing, and that's Gary Powell. And Gary Powell was the fight coordinator, or the stunt
The stunt.
coordinator on
Right.
Ant-Man.
Okay.
And that also elevated Ant-Man.
Okay.
So thankfully, I was able. If you expect too much,
Right.
you'll probably leave like Gary did, and sort of not Gary, Michael did, and just sort of said, "Oh, that wasn't as good as I wanted it to be." But since I had low expectations, I went, "Well, that was better than I was worried it was going to be."
Right.
That was entertaining. That was enjoyable. That was satisfying. It
Right.
had the little tail on it, the creating the little doubt about,
Mm.
is that actually Ant-Man, or is that one of the clones, or is that one of the other guys? But that's okay. Now I'm very excited about Guardians of the Galaxy 3. That's going to be tragic.
Right.
At least they prepared me for it.
Right. Right.
And
Right.
it also, to my mind, from an action standpoint, was a lot better than Wakanda Forever.
Okay, we can segue right to
That's
Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, revisited,
that
revisited. But
was
before,
yeah, we're coming back to it, reduxing it, because I've watched it
yeah,
again. I like watching all the Marvel movies twice because I always pick up stuff on the second viewing.
right,
They put they lavish such love and care and attention on their movies that even if I wasn't crazy over it, like Eternals,
right,
I am able to pick up stuff even in the worst of them. But
right.
Wakanda, I watched again, and the action just deteriorated. That was the picture I chose. That was the moment that I just sort of went, what were they thinking? The new Black Panther, Siri,
Hmm.
is stabbed. Bring that picture back up.
Shuri, yeah.
Do we have a doctor in the house? Does anybody want to tell me where? Hold on, let me get my hand into the shot. Let me get my hand there. Where that spear is going into her body. It is in the torso.
Yeah,
It's into what we call in kung fu the dantian. That area is the dantian, which is many mystics feel is the center of the soul. She is pierced in the center of the soul, and she's not heavy enough that she could hide all her major organs from that attack. And yeah, she is the new Black Panther, but then she comes off of it. And I've seen other kung fu movies where characters like one of the five Venoms or whatever will do that, will walk off of a spear in their torso, in their gut.
yeah,
But but they set up the rest of the movie in the Venoms and the other kung fu films that I could accept it.
right.
I could not accept it here. This
Wow.
is ridiculous. And I just sort of went,
So,
I don't buy anything now.
so since I haven't seen the movie still yet,
Yeah.
I'm assuming that Namor's weapon could penetrate the suit, because I thought the suit was kind of invulnerable. I thought.
They show it. It went right through her.
Oh wow.
It went right through her. And
Right.
that's kind of like in the spine. Now, until I see an explanation for this, if they
Right.
have an explanation. But as such, I just sort of went, I'm very I mean, the rest of the movie is awesome. I mean, very emotional, very
Hmm.
intelligently done.
Right. But it's
But
just that end finale fight, you were just
well, not just the
disappointed.
end finale, the whole conflict is contrived. The conflict, unfortunately, it's very similar to another superhero movie that starts with the word black. Black Adam and Black Panther both are both based on ridiculous conflicts, on unnecessary conflicts,
Gotcha.
on conflicts that end. The end of Black Panther Wakanda Forever is she sort of goes, "Yeah, I should have done what you said all along."
Oh wow.
Namor gives her an offer when they first meet, and she goes, "No, I'm not going to do that." And then they go through all this nonsense, unnecessary nonsense, for her to go, "Yeah, I should have done that." And I go,
kind of like kind of like kind of like you said at the end of Black Panther, Black Adam, when Superman showed up and he's like, "Hey, let's talk."
"Yeah, it's like, where were you? Where were you 2.5 hours ago?" And that whole thing with the Justice League, not the Justice League, the Legion of Justice, or whatever it was called, where they
Yeah.
show up and they just sort of say the two things you never should say to him. Thought action was lackluster, but the emotional journey, yeah, there you go. Yep, I agree with, who was that? Who said
That was
that?
Kevin. Kevin.
Kevin, you're absolutely right, Kevin.
Yeah.
It has to next month. It has to be PhatSamuraiGuy and Kevin's.
Oh,
Autopsy.
there you go.
Here we
Uh-oh.
go.
Guest. I have a guest here
Guest,
next time.
what I call him, guest agreeer.
Yeah.
But meanwhile,
Mm-hmm.
we're all reacting to all this Marvel stuff. Like, I don't know, it's been, they can't recapture the Endgame magic. And then suddenly, after I finished James Bond last night, I click on I'm just seeing what's on Disney Plus to see if I can get, clean my palate. And up pops Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. And I liked the look of that poster. And I went, oh, it's a Marvel show. How come I've never heard of it until last night? I stumbled on it. I mean, I follow Disney Plus on Instagram, and they didn't do any advertising of this. And I saw that it started on Disney Channel, which I no longer have. It started on Disney Channel on February 10th and started on Disney Plus like yesterday. And I said, this looks fun. So I I had quite the night last night. I watched the first episode is like 45 minutes, almost to an hour. The rest of them are like 25 minutes. This is a great show.
I've never heard of it. Interesting. You're bringing it up.
Delightful. And the animation, it's the first major collaboration between Marvel and Disney. It's the Disney animators.
Oh, really?
With Feige and the rest of the gang. This thing is funny, it's cute, it's smart, it's inventive. The animation is awesome. It's co-produced by Lawrence Fishburne, who also does. He's the voice of the narrator and he's the voice of the villain in the last episode. Also, it's one of my favorite kinds of heroes because she's not a superhero; she's a suprahero. In that she's an incredibly smart kid, and she cuts through dimensions, and that's where the dinosaur comes out. But then suddenly all these villains start showing up out of these other dimensions too.
Yeah.
And she deals with them as a high school student. And all the villains have a different attitude. There's one episode where her hair is the villain.
Okay.
It's like, and it's so smart. I mean, I'm just watching it. I'm going to have to rewatch it again. Marvel, again, showing me that I have to rewatch because every single shot is just thought out. And there's so much, it's the Disney love and it's the Marvel love in one show.
Nice.
The backgrounds, the attitudes. When she becomes her superhero, she puts on those goggles. And those goggles change. You can see there. The goggles change to communicate emotion that since you can't see her eyes when she has the goggles on. I mean, there's so many smart things in the show and it's so entertaining that it's
thumbs up.
I thought Puss in Boots: The Last Wish was the best animation of the month. I have to throw in Moon Girl. And also I was worried because, I didn't want, what's the Moon Guy series, which was my least favorite Marvel series.
Moon Knight. Yeah.
Moon Girl's terrific, and it's based on a comic book.
Nice.
It's
right.
It's really
the win.
Woo, woo.
All right, awesome. Before we move on, Rick, I forgot to ask you going back to Ant-Man.
Yes.
How was Kang?
Oh, Jonathan Majors is great.
So we have potential that is he supposed to be the big baddie of this?
Oh, he's definitely the big baddie.
Okay.
Oh yeah, they have the two end credit sequences. Again, show him.
Okay.
Show him in one of his other guises, because what he says on Loki, Jonathan Majors plays what he said is true. That there's all different ones of him. Yeah, there we go, Mike.
Okay.
Right. Kang was awesome. Absolutely.
Because I was looking forward to see introducing him. So cool. All right.
Yeah.
So he was good. All right. Awesome.
And you'll see him again in Creed 3.
yeah. Coming out very soon. Yeah. Awesome. The next action film Autopsy for March is going to be stacked.
Oh my gosh, yeah, we got a lot of stuff there, boy. I'm looking forward to it. I was talking to my friend Elisa from the Comic Con, and I was saying, oh, I guess we can relax in March. And then I start seeing what's coming out in March. I go, oh no, oh
I
no.
know. It's one of the biggest months of the year so far.
I mean, they're setting up John Wick 4 to be like their final statement in action cinema. I mean,
Right.
they've just got all these amazing guys in that, but that's
I
next.
know.
Let's get back to this month.
Yes. So last Friday, you guys, if you guys missed the episode, you got to check it out because it's insightful and hilarious because we had Rick and Frank here talking about The Wandering Earth 2. So make sure you guys check out that review. It is hilarious and a lot of fun, but Rick wanted to revisit it here to talk about the action part.
Specifically the action, but first let me
Yeah.
tell you what I told people on Friday. If you didn't see Fridays, if you're interested in Wandering Earth 2, absolutely watch Wandering Earth 2 first.
Yes.
Because even though it has a 2 on it, it's a prequel. It's actually Wandering Earth 0.
Yeah.
And then you can go onto Netflix and see Wandering Earth, which
Right.
is the sequel.
Right.
And then it'll be far more satisfying as a science fiction epic.
Yeah.
But
Everybody got that? Everybody got that?
Yeah. Now, that's what you need to know. Now, in terms of the action, there seems to be hints that the China Film Bureau is not going to keep denigrating its great kung fu because they want martial arts. They don't want kung fu because they got to control their 3 billion people. So there's a wonderful action sequence in the first 45 minutes of Wandering Earth 2, which is a very long film with a lot of big science fiction ideas. But the big action is in the first hour. And they do a wonderful sequence that would have been perfect had they not cut away from the physical action. There's a lot of digital action that's extremely well done. But there's physical action with this actress and with Wu Jing, my favorite guy. He's the guy holding the woman actress there.
Yeah, he's awesome.
He's got the blood on him. Wu Jing was Wolf Warrior and Wolf Warrior 2. And he was going to become the next Bruce, the next Jet, the next Donnie.
Yeah.
And China Film Bureau cut him off at the knees. After the huge success of Wolf Warrior 2,
which I loved,
the most successful movies they had done up until then, and he announces Wolf Warrior 3, China Film Bureau said, nope, you can't do it.
Yeah.
Because you're creating a solo hero. We can't have the Chinese people worshiping a solo hero. We need them to worship a team. So Wu Jing's not, is, yeah. And it's interesting, we'll be talking about somebody who worked on Wolf Warrior 2 later on here. He's involved in another movie that we'll be talking about here.
Okay.
So they keep cutting away from him. There's a moment where they're building this big fight where he's trying to save the girl and he's going to try to stop the saboteurs from destroying the project. And he's about to really unleash.
Yeah.
They cut away from him right there. They cut away from him right there. And they go to another shot. And when they come back to him, he's finished.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm saying, that's what producers do. That's what producers do when they want to minimize the effect of the action scenes. They did that in Snake Eyes. Throughout the entire Snake Eyes movie, the G.I. Joe film. Just watch it. It's like a lesson on how to kill a movie. For whatever reason. I mean, bad producers in Hollywood have a reason to kill movies, and that's one of the techniques they use. We can go into that. We could do a whole episode about movies that were murdered.
That would be fun.
Yeah. I would be the Sherlock Holmes of murdered movies.
Yeah, that would be fun.
The last Tomb Raider was a murdered movie.
Why is that? Or you want to save that for the video?
Oh, we can save that, but
okay.
Well, basically, it's really simple because I think I've reviewed it before on Action Film Autopsy. The latest Tomb Raider movie. They made her into an idiot, and worse than that, they made her into an asshole. They made her into the first half hour of that movie had her in 4 different sequences. And each one of those sequences was seemingly purposely designed, and therefore probably was purposely designed to make you not like her, because she reacted poorly in each one, in a different way, in each one of these sequences. But now let's get back to February. What's next?
All right. Next up is Mr. Liam Neeson himself, Marlowe.
This, yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
This is an amazing movie. I can't decide whether I like it yet. I want to like it enormously, but I have to figure it out. If for those who don't know, I mean, if you watch Friday, I brought out my science fiction bona fides. You know, I showed the science fiction novels and nonfiction books. I'm also a big mystery writer. I have several awards from the Mystery Writers of America because of my work with TV detectives. I worked on Murder, She Wrote. I worked on Columbo.
Awesome.
I wrote a Dungeons and Dragons fantasy Playfair murder mystery called Murder in Halrua. I put mystery plots into a lot of my ghost-written thrillers. So I love mysteries. I was the television honcho and the media honcho in the Mystery Writers of America over the last 30 years. So I love this stuff. I've watched every great murder movie, detective movie.
Speaking of that, Rick.
Yeah.
Ever since your recommendation for Poker Face,
Oh yeah, Poker Face.
me and Lady Fat Blood started watching it. We love the show, man. We love the show.
It's Rian Johnson, who's
Yeah.
a huge lover of murder mysteries as well, and did Knives Out last week.
Watch Poker Face, guys. It's
Poker
great,
Face
especially the metal episode, Staplehead.
Oh yeah, it's awesome.
That's
But
so
also,
good.
that's his version of Columbo.
Right.
Columbo's unofficial theme song was "This Old Man," the old nursery rhyme. And listen, in the very first episode of Poker Face, when she decides to become a detective, in the bar in the casino she's in, they're playing "This Old Man."
That's cool.
Music, and it's like awesome. In any case,
awesome.
So I love the mystery form. And Philip Marlowe. How many people out there watching know who Philip Marlowe is? Humphrey Bogart played him in The Big Sleep. Dick Powell played him in not in Farewell. Robert Mitchum played him in Farewell, My Lovely. Murder, My Sweet. Dick Powell played him. These are some of the greatest detective private eye movies ever made. James Garner played him in another movie called Marlowe. And so I've watched all the Marlowe movies. Bruce Lee.
Oh yes,
was in the James Garner Marlowe movie.
That's right. Yeah.
So here's another movie called Marlowe, and I went, oh, so it's another Liam Neeson movie. So it was just a quick knockoff. And then I saw who the writer-director was. The writer-director was Neil Jordan. Neil Jordan has won Oscars for The Crying Game, and has made other, Oscar-worthy movies. He wrote and directed this, and I went, is this going to be good? In fact, is this going to be great? Is this going to be more than just another Liam Neeson movie, which I enjoy, not as much as I enjoy Gerald Butler movies nowadays, but still, he's never terrible. His movies are never awful. But you can see there, he's in his 70s now.
Oh my goodness.
And they don't cover it up very well. Also, I started doing research. Neil Jordan is Irish. Liam Neeson is Irish. They filmed this movie in Ireland, in Spain. Yeah.
Wow.
I can't remember one place. I think Spain is where they did all the exteriors to try to recreate 1930s Los Angeles.
Yeah.
All the interiors were done in Ireland.
Oh, wow.
It is a very weird movie. It's also, interestingly enough, not based on a Philip Marlowe novel, at least not an original Philip Marlowe novel. Philip Marlowe was written many years ago. This is a Philip Marlowe pastiche novel. It was called The Black-Eyed Blonde and was written by somebody else rather than the originator of the original Philip Marlowe. So they're not using, so that kind of made perfect sense as they're creating this Franken Marlowe. It's just this weird, it's like an Irish homage to a great LA detective.
Huh.
I'm going to have to watch it again because I was just like trying to figure this out. It's a classic. It's like a really pale plagiarism of the original Private Eye movies of the 30s. I still haven't figured it out. And also,
so it's an homage. It's an homage.
An homage, but it's also a very inexpensively made homage. Very inexpensively made. So while they have action, it is not. I have the Alex Andres was the action coordinator, and he has no real, no major credit. He only has Spanish credits. So he was the action coordinator they got in Spain. And also Liam Neeson is in his 70s. They apparently didn't have a lot of money to choreograph stuff. So you can see that the fights are very rudimentary and right to the point. But I kind of went, once I got used to it, I went, and also there was not a lot of action in the Humphrey Bogart and Dick Powell movies either. They used their brains more than they used their fists. Usually, most of the time, they were getting beat up. But they didn't want to do that to Liam Neeson because, he has a certain set of skills. So it's a fascinating movie, especially for me. Your mileage may vary. Oh, are you off? What happened to you? Check to see.
Sorry about that. It sounds like a good mystery though.
It is. It's a mystery movie that's also a mystery. The movie is also a mystery.
Right.
So me, I was like, this is cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, so if you love mysteries, it's certainly worth seeing. It's certainly worth seeing just to see what Neil Jordan is doing and to see how he recreates the dialogue from the 1930s tough guy stuff. It's pretty cool. Now, speaking of not cool,
all right. So these next two projects, me and Rick have not seen.
No, I've seen it since then. I've seen them.
Both of them.
Yep.
Oh, okay. All right. So before Rick gets into it, I had a lot of fun interviewing the actor Craig, who plays Pooh in Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. Sweet guy, very nice guy. It was fun chatting with him. I have not seen the movie yet, but Rick, before you talk about the movie, what do you think about the concept of beloved Disney characters or iconic classic characters? We're putting a little dark horror spin on it because I heard there's a Bambi movie coming, maybe Peter Pan, and then we did have a Grinch horror flick that came out last year. What's your thoughts on that?
I have been waiting for Bambi to take her revenge for decades. I mean, if you're of my age, one of the great cinematic moments of your life is when you were eternally scarred by the murder of Bambi's mom.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I was there when it came out. Well, maybe I wasn't when it came out. Hold on.
Yeah.
That may have been a 1940s movie. So yeah, I wasn't there. I wasn't born yet. But it was one of the things I saw when I was a kid.
Right.
And so yeah. However, just like everything, if they do it really great, then I will love it.
You're good with
Don't do it really great, I won't love it.
Okay.
And here's the deal: we've got Blood and Honey, followed by another murderous bear,
right?
Specifically, Cocaine Bear. And if Blood and Honey had come out without Cocaine Bear, I may have had a different opinion. I doubt it.
Right. Okay.
Because one is not good, and one is good. One is not surprising, one is surprising. One has smarts, the other one has dumbs.
Okay.
Winnie the Pooh, Blood, the concept. Now, of course, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey is done by a guy named Rees Frank Waterfield. And he's now got a whole bunch of Disney-esque slasher things coming up.
Right.
He's doing a bunch of them. And he just started making films last year. And he made like 6 films last year. He's making 6 films now. He's not lavishing attention. He's just grinding them out.
Yeah. Indie hardcore. Yeah. Indie
Yeah.
hardcore.
So if you want to see Winnie the Pooh and Piglet murder people, enjoy. Do they murder people cleverly? Do they murder people in an amusing way? Do they murder people in an entertaining way? No, it is a one-trick movie. It's not a one-trick pony.
It's a slasher, right? It's a
Huh?
slasher. It's a slasher flick, right?
Yeah, but it's.
And you hate slashers.
No, I hate bad slashers.
Oh, bad slashers. Okay.
Yeah, I loved Freaky. I loved Happy Death Day to Me. I loved Barbarian. When a movie's great, I love it.
Okay.
Whatever the genre is.
Okay.
I love the original Friday the 13th. I love the original Halloween. I love the original Nightmare on Elm Street. But when the other ones were followed and were just dumb and stupid, yeah, the horror version of Peter Pan. So again, the problem I had with Blood and Honey was you see one murder, you see them all.
Ah.
It's not smart. It's not clever. He doesn't do anything with it. Once, I see the first one, I love the idea of it.
Right.
That because Christopher Robin left them,
right.
They were starving to death, they had to figure out a way to do it. And I wish they had carried on with the imaginative stuff. If it's clever, if it's smart, if I go, oh yeah, okay, that's cute, that's smart, that's cool.
Gotcha.
But no. Once the first murder is done, the first murder is not bad. But the rest of the murders, I mean, the murder in the hot tub was just like, oh man, I could have done better than that with my eyes closed.
Gotcha.
So it was just like, it was a trial. It should have been a short. But he's doing it for money.
Right.
So he's going to do what he can to get it out. That's why he's making so many, because he's doing the Roger Corman approach.
Right. Well, yeah. That's. Oh, sorry.
No.
Yeah. When I talked to Craig,
yeah.
I asked him how long it took to make the movie, and they made the movie in 10 days.
Yeah.
So it's indie hardcore. So it is what it is.
But also he knows that he's able to sell it to a lot of different markets. So he's collecting the money and he's feeding the beast. But he's not feeding my beast. He's not feeding my mind candy.
The mind candy, yeah. Gotcha.
But I was very lucky to have seen that and then got to see Cocaine Bear.
So how was Cocaine Bear?
I can't say it's delightful, but I am extremely happy for Elizabeth Banks. Elizabeth Banks directed this movie. And Elizabeth Banks, she has found her place. I've always liked Elizabeth Banks, Pitch Perfect. She's, The Joker is Wild, the game show. But I was very disappointed in her version of Charlie's Angels. I said, oh, now because, I was also disappointed in the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers she was involved with. And so I was hoping for her, but I was losing all hope for her because Charlie's Angels was not very well done. And
that's what I heard.
She should have been so much smarter. And here in Cocaine Bear, she just went, fuck it.
All right. I like that.
I'm going to have fun.
All right.
And she does. And she brings us along. And especially after Winnie the Pooh, it's kind of like, all right, there's enough that's smart in here. There's enough that's clever. There's enough that she knows what she's doing.
Okay.
She has fun with it. And therefore, so did I.
Nice. Well, the question I think everyone wants to know, will Rick be reviewing Meth Gator when that comes out? That's coming out. Meth Gator is coming out. You're going to leave that one for me. I'll take the hit.
I tend to doubt it. But do let me say that the action coordination in Cocaine Bear was done by the great Melissa R. Stubbs. She's right now the I don't want to be sexist about it, but she's the queen of the stunt coordinators at this point. You know,
Oh, all
Gary
right.
Powell may be the king, but she's the queen. So when I saw
All
that
right.
her name was, I said, this is going to be fine. She does a really good job.
Was this? It sounded like you had fun with it, but was this too long? I heard some people say it was too long for this concept.
Yeah, of course it was.
Okay.
Yeah,
Is it like over 2 hours or something?
it's too long. But you know, again, hey,
You had fun with
Elizabeth
it.
Banks was feeling her oats. She
All
wanted,
right.
because that was her problem with her other movies too. She doesn't know how to edit herself. She's a classic actress turned director. Because this happens a lot. When actors turn directors, they cannot bear to cut anything out because they fall in love with all of their scenes.
Gotcha.
And since they're in control, they don't have to.
All
What did
right.
he just? I just missed that while I was talking. What did he do?
Kevin said here, Cocaine Bear was just silly fun that did
Yeah,
not take itself seriously. It
there we
delivers
go.
in what it's intended to do. Nice.
But it delivers, and what does it deliver? It delivers fun. It delivers entertainment.
I'm in.
It's too long, but hey, I feel great. It's like looking at a friend who's I forgive a friend if a friend sings 3 encores instead of 2. I forgive them because they're my friend and they're having fun.
And I
And it's
see
like,
that Ray Liotta's in there too.
it was his last. He
Yeah.
finished his last overdubbing before he tragically passed away.
Yeah. R.I.P. But it's cool.
Tragic.
Yeah.
And this is a nice thing to go out on.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll be checking it out.
It's fun.
I'll be checking it out for sure. Now, this next film, I've been hearing that he's back. He's back, and now he's great again. And this director's always, to me, this is just me personally.
Yeah.
Everyone's different, but to me, this director, he's talented,
He
but he's always a hit or miss for me. You know, he's always like, oh, well, that was good. Oh, what was that? Oh, what, and so I heard good things so far about Knock at the Cabin.
Yeah, it's too long.
Okay.
It should have been, 95 minutes, maybe 100 minutes. It's like an hour 47 or whatever.
Okay.
But here's the deal with me and Mr. Shyamalama Ding Dong. I will never forgive him for The Last Airbender.
Oh, well.
I will never forgive him for that. However, when he does his own stuff,
okay,
like his own stuff is always, although this isn't his own stuff, he didn't write this. Although he wrote the screenplay, he did not write the original source material. But he was wise to take someone else's source material because he's running out of ideas.
Yeah.
But the last one he did was Old, and that was okay. When he does his own stuff, I prefer his approach, which is he's going to finance the movie 100%. He's going to make the movie he wants to make. He's going to release the movie he wants to make. And he's not going to look down on the movie he wants to make. He made shit out of The Last Airbender for some reason. I couldn't figure out. But this one, it's really interesting because I know the book it's based on. The book it's based on is called A Beauty Carved in Time. Oh no, that's not it.
No, yeah.
It was called Knock at the Cabin.
Okay.
It's called Knock at the Cabin. The original.
That's what the original material was called too?
I don't know. Actually, no, that's the movie called. It's called something else. I forgot what it's called.
That's
but
all right.
It's not that title.
Okay.
But I know that book, and I know that book's plot. And Shyamalan changes the plot at the end. And I agree with Shyamalan.
Okay.
It's an interesting concept, although semi-ridiculous. But he sticks to it, and he makes a movie that is eminently watchable. He uses his skills to make, basically a one cabin movie.
I like those.
Yeah, it's not terrible.
All right. Kevin says the book was called Cabin at the End of the World.
Yeah, that's right. I don't know why I was blanking on that.
Thank you, Kevin. Yeah.
Thank you, Kevin.
Kevin's on fire today.
Like I said, it's got to be Kevin, Fat Samurai Guy,
That's
Shifu Santa, and Kevin's action film
it.
because he knows stuff. As you know, we were talking about this with Frank. Frank is a scholar. I'm a critic.
Yeah.
Frank
And
knows
I'm a
the
fan.
facts.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. Frank knows the facts. I know my own opinion.
Right.
So I need somebody like Kevin and Frank to say, "Oh, Rick, it's not called that. It's called this. Look at my long beard. Every one of these follicles means a missing memory."
All right. So recommendation. Recommended.
Yeah, not bad.
All right. All right. Copy that. Copy that. Now, you posted this
Yes.
so I can watch it. And I was just like, Rick, what are you trying to do? You trying to make me cry over here? You're trying to make Samurai Guy cry? But let's talk about Jackie Chan's short film,
Yes.
A Beauty Carved in Time.
Actually, not his. It's a Kevin. Find out the director. I'm going to say it's Ivy Chan, but it isn't Ivy Chan. I'm again thinking Jackie Chan. It's Ivy something, and I can't
Right.
find out. There's a woman by that name who's an actress, and I asked Frank to see whether the actress in the movie was also Ivy, whatever her name is that I forgot, and so we're not sure who actually made this. It's fairly clear it was
Right.
instigated. I'm just a fan of your work, Rick. Are you a legend? Much respect to you and of course the amazing. Okay, well, thank you, KL Entertainment Reviews. Yeah, I'm trying to remember how I stumbled on this short, but it came up. I watched it, and of course, it hit me right in the heart
Yes.
because it's the story of an old man,
Oh.
not me, another old man, a Chinese old man, who was remembering the first time he saw his first Jackie Chan movie, which was Drunken Master. And that was my first Jackie Chan movie.
Yeah.
And I saw it in China. Larry Hama, the great creator of the G.I. Joe line, who was working at Marvel. I think he still is, but he had an office then. He was an editor and everything there at that time. I had just come from the set of Christopher Reeve's Superman. I'd come from the premiere of Superman, and I had been upset by Otis because when I was on the set of Superman, it was another, Lex Luthor had another henchman played by Peter Boyle, who had to leave the production because they went over schedule.
It's crazy.
They quickly hired Ned Beatty, and Ned
Yeah.
Beatty played a character who doesn't exist in the world. There's no person who acts like Otis does.
Mr. Luthor.
Yeah. So I was in Larry Hama's office at Marvel Comics complaining to Larry about why do they always ruin these movies? Why do they always have to camp it up? And he went, when are they ever going to do a superhero movie straight? And Larry literally said, follow me. Larry had already, in a previous visit, had already introduced me to sushi. He had brought me to, at that time, in the 70s, the late 70s, the only sushi restaurant in New York. He had brought me to that. And he also brought me down to Chinatown where I discovered tofu. There was a restaurant in Chinatown that had 32 different varieties of tofu. So
Wow.
he introduced me to a lot of stuff. So at that moment, he brings me downtown. Playing at the Bleecker Street Cinema was Baby Cart in the Land of Demons.
Woo!
And my mind was totally blown.
Oh my
That was
God.
based on a manga, and I didn't
Yeah.
know that at the time, but it was
Yeah.
just a comic book. And then he brought me down to Chinatown to the Canal Street Cinema, and there was Drunken Monkey in a Tiger's Eye. And I watched. And I'm the only white guy in the theater. I'm the only guaylo in the theater. And so this short is about this old man losing his memory, not being able to remember, directors' names and books' names, things like that. Who was able to remember Jackie Chan because he did an etching of Jackie Chan as Drunken Master. There it is. And he comes into the old theater where he saw it as a young man. And there sitting in the theater is Jackie Chan. And the short does not tell you whether this is the man's fantasy or whether this is real. But
Right.
at the end of the short, again, there'll be spoilers, Jackie turns and talks to the camera or us. And, or in this case, since I met Jackie in the late 70s and I've known him for many years, he spoke to me.
Yes, he did.
And Jackie, in the past, has thanked me because I was the instigator of the Incredibly Strange Film Show episode, or the son of the Incredibly Strange Film Show episode, that introduced him to the Western world and in the English-speaking world the way he wanted to be introduced. Up until then, Jackie had been a version of Clint Eastwood in The Protector and a
Right.
version of Bruce Lee in
The low way films, yeah.
Runs with all
Yeah,
this.
right, right.
But because I told Jonathan Ross about Jackie Chan's Project A and Police Story and sent him copies, because I had worked on the original, I had consulted on the original, not consulted, I guested on the original Incredibly Strange Film Show on the Herschel Gordon Lewis episode of the first series, because I had written the book For 1 Week Only, The World of Exploitation Films. So then they brought me down to Florida, and while I was talking to, and they brought me to Pittsburgh for the George Romero episode, and while I was all during that, I'm going, you got to see Jackie Chan. You got to see Jackie Chan. Oh, that guy in Cannonball Run and the Big Brawl. No,
Right.
The real
Right.
Jackie Chan.
Yeah.
And so he said, and then he calls me up after he gets all this stuff and said, I'm bringing you to Hong Kong. And so I went on the 3-week reconnaissance, or what they call a recce, preparing the Jackie Chan special. Then they brought me back with them when they were filming the special.
Yeah.
And so when that special came out, it did for Jackie what he always wanted. So Jackie thanked me then. Then when I did the Jackie Chan comic book, Spartan X, he thanked me again. And then when I was on the short list to ghostwrite his first autobiography, he thanked me again. So Jackie just keeps thanking me. So at the end of this short, when he thanks his fans, I just go,
yeah. I felt it too.
It is a super sweet, very well done short. And although Jackie still has his hair dyed in this, he lets his face go natural. He's I think 8 months younger than I am. So he's 68, or he'll turn 68 in April.
Yeah.
And the last movie I saw him in, he looked like Sandra Bullock in Bullet Train. He looked a mannequin version of himself.
Oh,
Just
no.
looked like he was made out of plastic. So I was very happy to see him. And at the end of this, up came, because on YouTube they always say you may want to watch, or starting it. They had a making of short on his new movie, Ride On.
Yeah, this looks fun.
Well, he's playing a stuntman.
I know, it's perfect.
And here he's letting his hair go gray. And so I've told Jackie, the last time I was able to talk to Jackie, I was at the premiere in Hong Kong of The Accidental Spy. And he always talks to me about how do you think the Americans will react to this? And I would always say, look, man, I am telling you, you do not have to just keep getting faster and faster and faster and get wounded. It is now time to become the master. Before you were the student, now it is time to become the master, where you do things with just a move. You do things subtly. You don't have to, be super fast all the time. You don't have to please your boys, your stuntman club. And he goes, very interesting. So, and then things happened and now, of course, China's not interested in Kung Fu anymore. So but he has special dispensation. So now he's beginning to stop doing pale copies of pale plagiarisms of pale plagiarisms.
Yeah.
Ride On gives me hope that the And this short subject is just go to YouTube and write in the making of Ride On. And
Yeah, it looks delightful. Hopefully, it's a lot of fun.
and also he looks good too.
Yeah, yeah, he does. And I like towards the end, he had to say goodbye to the horse because they were done filming, and him and the crew got emotional.
Yeah, he's
You
saying
know,
goodbye. That may be his new tech. That's maybe where he got the idea for a beauty carved in time
ah,
to say goodbye.
right,
You
right,
know, because now he knows that what he did before is, you know,
yeah.
hey, um,
But I had to show after I watched it since you posted it, I had to show it to Lady Fat Blood, Lady Fat, because you guys don't know this about Lady Fat, but she used to ride horses. That's right. So this is perfect because she loves Jackie Chan and she loves horses.
well, you
So
know, I
it'll be
rode horses too.
oh no, I didn't know that.
I was king at medieval times.
Oh, I know you were king. I didn't. You rode too.
I rode throughout that show.
Oh, that's awesome.
I come riding in. No, first in my version of medieval times because they change the show every once in a while.
Yeah.
In my king, I come out in a great battle through the fog on my horse. I had two horses that I took care of at medieval times because they had the stables in the
Oh,
back.
yeah.
And so,
How
yeah,
cool is
I
that?
love horses. Oh, the way I learned to ride, I should bring Lady Fat in here. I want to tell her how I learned to ride. They kept saying, because, I had a month where, they cast me in the role of the king and they said, okay, we're going to teach you how to ride. And then they say, okay, you're starting your first performance this Friday. I said, you haven't taught me how to ride yet. And they went, all right, tell you, because they were going to give me a little bit of training, a
Yeah.
little bit of training, a little bit of training.
Yeah.
What happens one day, the head knight comes out. He says, this is Diablo. Stay on Diablo.
Diablo.
This is Diablo. Stay on Diablo for 45 minutes. Then you'll know.
Wow. Wow.
And thankfully, I had visited my brother and my nieces and my nephew prior to, getting this job. And my niece loved horses too. And she said, Uncle Rick, and she put me on the ottoman, and she said, it's all in the thighs.
Ah.
It's
Oh.
all in the knees and thighs. And I just had that running. So I got up on Diablo. Diablo was not happy. But they were smart enough not to put me on a killer. They put me on a wounder. If
Oh,
I
okay.
had not known, I'd done research. I always do research.
Yeah.
So I got on the horse. And I'd already started. This was like in 2006, I think, 2003 to 2005, I think. So I had already started learning Kung Fu. I started learning Kung Fu in 2001. So I knew how to direct some of my energy and my healing energy.
Yeah.
So when I got on that horse, I embraced him. I didn't grip him. I didn't use the American thing, clawing on him. I embraced him with my thighs. And I started channeling healing energy. Because, horses have personalities. And they
Right.
rack you with it. So he tried to rub me off against the
Okay.
wall. And I laughed. And I said, oh, come on, Diablo. I know what you're doing. He also he would canter and then stop to see if he
Yeah.
could knock me off. But I was embracing him with my thighs. I was holding, and also the one thing they taught me at medieval times is hold on to his mane. So I
Ah.
had the reins in one hand, but I had his mane in the other hand. But again, I wasn't pulling at it. I wasn't trying to hurt him. I
Yeah.
was just trying to anchor myself. And so 45 minutes later,
You were riding them.
I knew how to ride.
How cool is that?
The two horses they gave me,
Yeah.
Prince and Royale, they had been working with all the other kings before me. So basically, when I sat on them and said, listen, man, I'll make it as easy for you as I can, the horse basically looked at me and go, we got this. You just sit there, old man. You just sit there.
I'll make you look good.
We got this covered.
All right. That's all. That's pretty. I did not know that. I knew you were the king, but how cool is that? You rode too. But yeah, before we wrap it up and do our quick recap for those of you who just popped in, really quick, make sure you guys check this out. If you're a martial arts, excuse me, kung fu film lover,
Oh,
you got to watch this. And you know,
it's
it made me remember too, Rick, the first time I saw Drunken Master, and I kind of discovered Jackie Chan backwards, out of
yeah.
order. It was like the low way films, and then Rumble in the Bronx, and then my buddy was like, "Hey man, have you seen Drunken Master?" I was like, "What's that?" And I went to his house and he showed it to me, and I was like, I was instantly a fan of that movie. I was blown away. Had to see Drunken Master 2, and I became a Wang Jang Lee fan, also the super kicker. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. When I was watching it, Rick, I don't know. I think Lady Phat was cooking, and there were some onions like on the side or something, because I don't know. I just
Come
kept hearing.
on, face it, man. Crying doesn't make you weak. Crying doesn't make you not badass. It makes you more of a badass.
But yeah, I loved it. Make sure you guys check it out. But quick recap before we wrap it up for those of you who just arrived. Thumbs up, thumbs down, or what was it? Was it this?
Well, I'll
Was
show
your?
you.
It was this.
We'll
Okay,
show you.
okay, okay.
Yeah,
Here
we'll
we
do
go. Ant-Man.
Ant-Man. Okay, let me get the. Hold on.
Okay. Okay. Right there in the
Not this. In the middle.
right in the middle. All right.
E.
Moon Girl and Devil
Two
Dinosaur.
thumbs up. 2 thumbs up. All the fingers up.
All right. Wandering Earth 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
You see it in the right order.
Marlowe.
Don't know yet.
Okay.
Don't know yet. It's like
All right.
I have to watch it again. I'll give it a V for 2. Having to watch.
Okay. Blood and Honey. Okay. All right. Cocaine Bear.
Yeah, another B.
Okay.
Another
Okay.
solid B.
All right. Knock at the Cabin.
Another solid B.
All right. And of course, I mean, come on, we already know. Yeah, 2 thumbs up. But there you guys go. The quick recap before we wrap it up for today. Rick, always a blast to have you here, brother. Talking film. Oh yeah. And
Also
March
talking
is.
me. I did more talking than I did talking film. But you got to get used to that with me.
Oh man, but it's always a blast. Thank all of you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and do all that good stuff. Oh, hold on. Don't forget to get the book. That's right, baby. Get those books. Description.
Oh yeah, get Minions: Rise of Gru.
There you go. Minions: Rise of Gru. Rick was involved with that.
For me in the end credits, along with Scott Eastwood.
Yes. So like, share, and subscribe, guys. Hit that notification bell if you enjoyed the content. We are all on all the social medias, all of them. Check out our merch store. You guys rock. And the next action film Autopsy in March is gonna be fire. That's right. It's gonna be a banger. And Samurai Guys, I'm not gonna be last place this time. I'm gonna meet you halfway, Rick. I'll meet you halfway because I got to see some of those movies. All right, guys, you are awesome. Take care, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Take care, guys.